Good morning and welcome to episode number 6 of our series of videos called AskHighrise, where you can ask Highrise Digital any questions you like about WordPress, the web industry in general, or running a business, etc. And we will try our best to answer them and hopefully help people out. So in this 6th episode, we're going to be looking at image sizes in terms of web hosting and running out of disk space, because one of our clients had this issue where they had a web hosting package with a host, and it was a pretty good one. It had a reasonable size of space. I think it was 10 gigabytes or so of web space, so plenty of size. But they were contacted by their host indicating that they'd pretty much run out of space, and they were puzzled by this as to how they could have run out of space. So they asked us to investigate, and that's exactly what we did, and I want to share with you what we found and how you can avoid the same sorts of things happening to you. So our investigation looked at the uploads folder in WordPress. That's when you go to the media library and you upload any media. That's where the files that you upload get placed. And when we looked in there, it was quite clear what the problem was. So there were images in there which were some anywhere between 12 and 20 megabytes in size. So immediately that's led to a problem, because we just don't need images that are that large on the web. If you're a photographer, then you want to be printing things, then absolutely we need those sizes, but not on the web. So on the web, generally, screen sizes, if you think about a maximum screen size, someone who has a 27-inch screen maybe, it's going to be, 3,000 pixels wide, and that's if they're viewing it at the full screen width it actually is. So we don't need images that large. Now what was happening, I suspect, is that the client was out taking pictures on their camera or their smartphone that has one of these superb cameras on it, and they were, rather than resizing the images before they upload them, they were just taking that image and uploading it straight into WordPress. And what WordPress does, if you don't know, is WordPress keeps the original picture that you uploaded, but it also generates lots of other sizes of that image. And it does that for a few reasons. Images is the original one, was the one that comes to mind, that was introduced relatively recently, which allows your browser to pick which image is the best one for the connection that it's on and for the screen size that you're on, etc. So it needs the different sizes to be able to give the browser a selection. And obviously you put images in different places in your themes, and the themes need different image sizes to make sure that they're optimized. So when you upload an image to WordPress, it creates the original size that you uploaded, which in this case was anything between 12 and 20 megabytes. It creates what's called a large size, which I think by default is set to about 1,000 pixels wide. It creates a medium large size, which is about 700 and something. It creates a medium image at 300, and then it creates a thumbnail, which is a smaller version at 150 pixels in width. So all those get created each time you upload an image. Now, all those is fine. They're all relatively small because they're small pixel sizes, but the original images were just huge on this one. I think there was something like 7,000 to 8,000 pixels coming straight off the camera, and depending on the detail in the image was depending on the size. And we just don't need those images on the web. So obviously the solution here is to resize your images before you upload them to WordPress, but that can be a bit of a pain. It can be something that you forget to do, etc. So what we looked at is a solution that allowed the client just to upload the same images, but it solved this problem of having images that were too large. And the solution was a plugin called Insanity, which is freely available on the WordPress.org plugin repository, and it absolutely solves this problem. So let's take a look at that plugin now. Hi there. So I've got a test install of WordPress here on my local machine, and what we're going to have a look at is this plugin called Insanity that allows you to restrict the size of uploaded images and save yourself a bit of web hosting space. So I'm in the plugins menu, and I'm going to click on the Add New button to add a new plugin, which would take me to the list of plugins on WordPress.org that I can choose from, and then I'm just going to search for Insanity. You don't need to press enter anymore, it kind of does the search for you. And here it is. As you can see, it's got lots of installs and lots of good reviews, which is always a good thing. And I'm just going to click the install now. What that does is it downloads it from WordPress.org and puts it into my plugins folder on my website, in this case on my laptop. And once it's done that, I'm going to activate the plugin, which says to make it work in WordPress, essentially, get it loaded in and make it active. So that's done. And then I'm going to click this link that says the settings plugin here, or you can go to settings and Insanity. Both links go to the same place, I believe. And then we've got some options as to what we allow here. So the first setting is the image is uploaded within a page or a post. So if I'm editing a page or I'm editing a post, and I click add media, or I'm in the new block editor and I add a piece of media in there, then what's the maximum width or maximum height that you want to allow those images to be? So I tend to leave those at 2048 pixels. It's a good width, fits most themes, most screen sizes don't go too bigger than that, and it kind of works quite well. As it says here, you can enter 0 to disable that particular option. So if I set 0 as a max height, it means it wouldn't restrict the image by height, but it would restrict it by width. Then you've got the option about images which are uploaded directly in the media library. So if I'm not editing a post or a page, and I just go into media and add new, again, what's the restriction that you want in there? And the same options apply. And then the final option in terms of the sizes here is images that are uploaded anywhere else. So you might be in your customizer, you might be in like a widget area, you might be in a theme settings page, anything like that. Again, what's the width and height restrictions that you want in those particular areas? And as I said, I tend to leave them all in the same unless there's a specific reason why I need a larger one or smaller one in that particular location. The next option is the image JPEG quality. So this plugin can reduce the quality slightly of your uploaded images, which means that they take up less space. Now, WordPress's default is 82. I'm not actually sure which sort of image library it uses to do this with, but the default by WordPress 82. I never change that. I never see the need to change it, but you could reduce that slightly and see if the image quality is good enough for you. Or you could increase it. Increasing it will obviously increase the size of the images slightly. It then gives you an option to convert bitmap images to JPEG. I leave this as the default yes. I don't think I've ever come across a bitmap image for years, so I leave that as it is. And do you want to convert PNGs to JPEGs? I set that as no, because sometimes if you want to upload a transparent PNG, if it converts to a JPEG, it will no longer have its transparency intact. So those are the settings. So what this plugin does is when you upload an image that's greater than the sizes you've set here, is it resizes that image to these sizes, the maximum sizes you've set. It sets that as the default image that you uploaded rather than the big one that you uploaded, and it removes the original one that you uploaded. So if I upload one that's 8,000 pixels in width, this plugin will resize it to 2048 by whatever the height is in proportion, and then it will use that one as the image that I've uploaded and delete the original one, so I don't have that space taken up on my account. Now there is an option down here at the bottom that will allow you to resize the images that you've already got on your website, and it's an option to bulk resize them. So what it'll do is it'll search for images. I don't think I've got anything in the media library here, but it would list all the images that it's found here. And obviously if your site's got a lot of images, then it's going to find a lot. And then it gives you the option, there's a button up here somewhere that says basically press this to bulk resize them. There is this warning here, of course, in that it is going to go through and change the sizes of all the images that are greater than the sizes you've set here, and it will delete the originals once it's done the resize. So if you don't have a copy of those anywhere else, you need to make sure you've got one of those beforehand, because it doesn't keep the originals. The point of this is to reduce the size on the server, so that's the point here. So yeah, that's Insanity. Insanity. It's a really simple plugin in terms of user experience. It works really, really well, and it really does help clients save space on their sites and so on. So I hope you found that useful. I hope that's given you a little bit of a tip. You might want to add that plugin to your website to help you with your image resizing and making sure you don't have huge images on your WordPress site. So until next time, until the next episode, then we'll see you soon. If you want to ask a question, please use the hashtag AskHighrise on Twitter, and we will try and answer it for you. Until then, bye bye.